Welcome back to my channel. I am your favorite mother of three, Bougie Vintage, and today's video is all about Love is Blind. So Nick and Vanessa got it right. They've been in the comments, they've been on the internet, they've been on Twitter. We've been dragging them for filth for 6 seasons, literally, okay? Because when it comes to the reunion, they don't ask the right questions. And it's very frustrating because as viewers, there's stuff that we're trying to get to the bottom of and they're not doing a good job, or they'll smooth it over, or they'll just act like it didn't happen. This year, they made sure to let us know they would be addressing every scandal, giving the people what we want, which is addressing the drama, okay? Because this was the ghettoest, when I say ghettoest season of Love is Blind. Child, it's so ghetto, my brain just said love and hip hop. My brain was about to say love and hip hop. Love is Blind. Literally the most ghetto season we've seen since the beginning of the franchise. My last week was Oompa Loompa realness. This is Mad Hatter realness. Either which way, I'm Johnny Depp down, okay? Wait a second. Mad Hatter. Wasn't Wonka's hair orange too? Or was it green? What color is Wonka's hair in the movie? So the reunion started off with Nick and Vanessa in the pods. I don't think we've ever seen them in the pods. And I thought it was really cute. I really liked it. The reunion was actually shot at the Love is Blind headquarters or studio. And so pretty much they went into various pods and you would see couples from past seasons in there. I don't know why Tiffany was fixing Brett's pants with blue or white thread because his pants were black. So it very much gave, this was a last minute idea.
Hey, Brett, Tiffany.
Hey, Nick.
Some things never change. Well, we're ready for you.
Okay.
All right, be there in a second.
It was most definitely light blue thread, okay? They could have had black. I don't know what the hell they were doing with the damn light blue thread, but that's neither here nor there. Let's just get right into the drama because we don't really care about what was happening behind the scenes. We want to get into what was happening on center stage. Of course, Johnny and Amy come out first because they are the only couple that made it out alive this season, and I thought Amy looked stunning, okay? To me, she was one of the best dressed cast members on the stage. She was very much giving us Jessica Rabbit, okay? And she just had this glow about her, which is so crazy because during the season, every time I would see her little wing liner, I was stressed. I was so stressed. I was like, girl, why does your wing look like that? Like her makeup would always, she was very much plain Jane on the show. So to see her pop out like this, I'm like, yes, she ate, okay? They look good. Come on, AD, I know that's right. AD looked phenomenal, of course. I mean, she always looked good in whatever the hell she's wearing. One thing I love is when a black girl can find a nude mesh that matches her skin, and that looked amazing. And so I want to know who the hell designed that dress, because yes, girl, you ate, okay? Or sir, whoever made the dress. Chelsea's dress was a mess. What is happening here? What is happening? The feathers, I was just like, no. I don't know where Chelsea thought she was going, but no. And her hair had an issue as well. But we all have bad hair days, so I'm gonna mind my business. I thought Brittany looked really cute, and I thought that Jessica's dress looked a little Instagram boutique-y. Now, I did find the jokes or the puns that they were trying to make a little corny. Like, they were like, get your EpiPens ready. And then they were like, oh, Laura shared her location with us. She's in Barcelona. Okay, and I was just like, y'all is corny, but I'm gonna let it slide, okay? The jokes were not hitting how they thought they were gonna hit. It was just giving corn. Just corn on the cob, okay? Matter of fact, corn off the cob, okay? Canned corn. It was giving canned corn. Now, the way that they would zoom and do a Ken Burns pan on Clay's face when they would mention Matt was iconic. Okay, look at this. Because this man was looking pissed. Okay, he was uncomfortable the whole time.
What happened with Clay after the altar? And has she met up with Clark Kent. Oh.
Also, I
watch
can't
this.
wait to see the receipts of
Messy.
Matthew's dates with
Why are they
AD.
zooming? Messy. Super duper messy, and I was here for it. Obviously, we were not really here to hear about how lovely Johnny and Amy's life is because we didn't really care about them all season. We are happy they got married and they found their persons. Okay, we're happy for them, but we didn't really care about that. We wasn't watching the show for Johnny and Amy at the end of the day, right? And so they kind of just fade into the background. So they handled them very first, you know, because they are deserving of the attention. It's just that the show is not really about that anymore. We are more so watching the show now for the drama. And the people at Love is Blind are not dumb, okay? They know this. They just skimmed over them really quickly, and we appreciated that because there was a lot of drama to unwrap or unpack, sorry. Okay, so obviously they have realized that we are online dragging them and telling them that their experiment doesn't work. And so Nick made it a point to say out of the 11 couples that have been married on Love is Blind, 9 out of the 11 are still married to this day. Everybody was like, where's Cam and Lauren? Booked and busy, okay? They don't have time for Love is Blind. They are getting the bag from their kitchen, okay? They're doing couple stuff and traveling the world and doing all kinds, right? And so they weren't there, but to me, because they brought back all these couples, it was kind of weird that they weren't there. I feel like they should have been there, okay? But I understand why they weren't. Maybe they don't mess with the show anymore. Maybe they're like, okay, thanks for my partner. Thanks for my person. See you never. Okay, maybe that's what it's all about. But they're booked and busy, baby. They didn't have time to be there. But because all the other couples most of the other couples, a bunch of the other couples that have successfully stayed married were there, I feel like Cam and Lauren were definitely missing, okay? 9 out of the 11 couples that said I do are still together, and that is a phenomenal number. That's great, and I agree. 9 out of 11, not so shabby. But how many couples have been on the show? And if we look at the amount of couples that have been on the show, because it's what, 5 couples per season? Is that right? 5 couples per season times 6. 5 times 6 is 30. So 9 out of 30? We're batting at, is it 33% about? We're batting at about almost a 30% average, right? Almost a 33% average, because if it was 10 couples that were still married, then that's 10 out of 30, 1/3 of the couples. Not very high, you know, but obviously the experiment is the experiment. It's not necessarily supposed to bring forth, you know, 5 couples per season that are going to get married and stay married. It's an experiment to see if people can click in the pods. If they click in the pods, can they get married and stay married? And so these people are proving that it is possible. However, as the show goes on, like I've stated in the previous video, less and less people are staying married, less and less people are getting married or are making it to decision day. And so of course, at this point, they did like a little montage of all the past couples that were like there. Some of them were present, some of them were not, and pretty much was just giving them their flowers. We don't care about none of that. 3 pregnant cast members right now. So pregnant from the old season. So Gigi is pregnant, Bliss is pregnant, and Alexa. So she's married to Brennan. I remembered her from her season because I remember she was a hot gal and she was giving rich. Okay, her family, her dad was rich and he was not playing about them coins. And they thought that the boy was broke, okay? They said no brokies allowed, okay? They were really worried that he wasn't going to be able to support the lifestyle that she was used to. But Alexa was very much chill and down to earth, and I really liked her on her season. And so thankfully, we gave Vanessa what she needed with the pregnant people, so she didn't bombard the cast that's there about that. Or at least Amy and Johnny, because Amy and Johnny have made it abundantly clear they're not trying to be like me, okay? Just pregnant for no reason. I was pregnant for no damn reason. I would be pregnant, have a baby, and then I'm pregnant again, girl. Ain't nobody trying to do all that, okay? They trying to travel, you know, get to the bank. They trying to do a lot of things, and being pregnant is not one. The birth control was a big topic the whole season. We were bored. So, you know, that's that on that. We finally got to get into some things, okay? And so the things that we were getting into right out the gate was Jeremy. Jeremy, first of all, looked a hot damn mess. I totally understood why Laura was so mad about the Hawaiian shirts, but it almost felt like he put it on to piss her off. Because why are you wearing that? Like, why are you wearing that, sir? He's wearing a white tuxedo, like white jacket, white pants, and then he has on this bright colored Hawaiian shirt. Sir, have some class, okay? He looked a freaking mess. They were like asking him if he's seeing anybody, and he was like, he is indeed seeing somebody, but we already know who he's seeing because of TikTok and the internet. Obviously, he's seeing Sarah Ann. Sarah Ann probably wish she stayed home by the end of this damn reunion, girl. She probably wish she never came. Probably wish she never rolled out of her bed, put on that pink frock, and got her hair and makeup done. Because they gave it to her, okay? They were not playing with Sarah Ann on that stage. Nobody was playing with her. They had questions, and they wanted answers, and rightfully so. They asked Jeremy if he's seeing anybody. He's like, he is indeed seeing somebody. And Nick was like, okay, let's bring her out. Trying to be Jerry damn Springer. Let me tell you something. There was zero element of surprise. There was no element of surprise. We already expected Sarah Ann to march her little butt on the stage. Okay, and so that's what happened.
It's been going well, and yes, I am seeing someone.
Funny you should mention that. She actually is here today.
Corny.
Guys, should we bring her out?
Boo! Cans of corn!
Let's please welcome Sarah Ann.
Oh my god. Sarah Ann looks like two people. Well, three people. She looks, from the side, it's giving Noah Cyrus. From the front, she looks like an Olsen twin, okay? She looks like an Olsen twin, like when they were growing up, kind of. Not now, child.
Oh, not the kiss.
Oh, not the kiss. Messy boots. So pretty much, as soon as the show wrapped, these two were together. They was thick as thieves. They was a husband and wife, girl, whatever you want to call it, because Sarah Ann said that they've been dating for about a year. When we see the show, a year has happened, or it's been a year. Once we see the show, the couples have been married for about a year. She also reveals that they live together now. And then Vanessa's like, Laura has shared her location with us, okay? More corn, more cans of corn.
Laura has shared her location with us. She is
Corny.
in Barcelona, Spain for work.
When Sarah Ann walked out, baby, the girls, the guys on the stage, faces was straight. But the minute that Vanessa said, oh, we got her on Zoom, we got Laura on Zoom, everybody's face lit up like damn 4th of July, okay? I would say naturally, but it's not natural for them to ask these kinds of questions. So Nick turns to Jeremy and he like, so you had a fiance in Laura, but that didn't work out. So, you know, you have this lady here, Sarah Ann, that's your girlfriend. But there was another lady, okay? And so everybody's gasping for air as if they didn't see the drama online, okay? And he talks about how the grandmother of the baby revealed that Jeremy was engaged. And so Jeremy's in the hot seat now. And they're like, Jeremy, what's tea? And Jeremy confirms that he was indeed engaged, but it was not a secret. Apparently, he had told Sarah Ann and Laura in the pods, and the girls both confirmed that. He said it was never a secret. You know, he sold his house, he did this, he did that, and blah, 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 blah. So he got a check mark on that point. He never lied about that. He never hid it from them. So therefore, it is not a scandal. That baby's grandmama is messy boots. Okay, she should have never gone online and did all that. Like, why did she do that? She wanted her 15 minutes. She wanted to be mentioned in the blogs because if he told, then why are we here? But because he didn't air him telling people that, that's why it got so messy. And Love is Blind knows what they're doing. So don't sit there confused or thinking Love is Blind people, producers, editors didn't realize that what they were doing was going to cause a problem, because I'm pretty sure the Love is Blind people probably knew that he was previously engaged, or maybe they didn't. But if he's talking on camera and telling them and they're not airing that information, something was bound to be scandalous.
It's not true. So what had happened is, yes,
Not what
I
had
was
happened.
previously engaged. Everybody I dated was well aware of that. I had mentioned, yes, sold my house, and I did go ahead and apply after I was out on my own, doing my own thing, got approached to do it, and decided to move forward at that point.
So Vanessa gets in her bag, okay? And she's like, why did you share your location and then lie? Because that's dumb as hell. Of course, Jeremy starts trying to come up with a right answer. Baby, there is no right answer. You are dumb, sir. You're just dumb. And so this is kind of when him and Laura start to go back and forth.
I didn't intentionally lie about that. I did share my location.
And then forget.
No, I just didn't have anything to hide.
The thing about it is the Holy Spirit will wake you up if your man is up to no good. Let me tell you, okay? And so Laura woke up out of her sleep that night, not thinking anything of it, but when she looked at her bedside and saw her man was missing, of course she's going to go check the location because she knows the central location, and then she's going to see where the hell he at. He was probably banking on the fact that it was 5 o'clock in the morning and she's asleep. She's not going to know. And by the time she does know, it's going to be too late because I'm going to be back home in the bed. Laura chimes in and she says that, you know, if she never woke up, she doubts that he would have ever told her anything happened between him and Sarah Ann. And then Laura tells us that they corroborated on their joint lie, okay, which was that they never left the parking lot, which we all know to be true, which means y'all is hiding something. Unacceptable! Because if you guys are both telling people we never left the parking lot, that means that y'all know you're doing something wrong, okay? You left the parking lot and he drove over there to your house. And I'm about to point something out because it's so important to listen to what people are saying. People will tell on themselves every single time. So Laura tells the story that she never told us before, which was that despite the fact that we saw her come down the stairs in the morning and Jeremy was wearing them sunglasses, she actually saw when he wasn't home, she decided she gonna stay in the living room. But she didn't like stay up, sit and wait like his mama said she would do. She must have fallen asleep in the living room. And so when she woke up around 9-10 o'clock in the morning, they addressed what had happened. Because Jeremy tried to say when he came home, he went up the stairs to talk to her. And she's saying that's not what happened. And Jeremy is disagreeing. And also saying he's not taking any more heat for this because he can admit that he was wrong in some way. But he's not going to allow Laura to lie and say that she was waiting up or was in the living room when he got home and blah, 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 blah.
When I got home, I came upstairs. I told you what happened. So I'll
Jeremy,
admit my fault
true.
on the other part, but I'm not
waiting up for you. I should have been on the front porch waiting for your ass at 6 a.m. is what I should have been
Okay.
doing. Instead I was when I come home.
I'll take my lumps for what I actually did, but I'm not going to have it continue to be painted to be worse than that. Like I'm not going to do that. I'll own that.
You've never taken accountability. You've never like flat out apologized. You're a clown, okay?
I never apologized.
Sarah Ann was waiting for her moment, girl. Okay, so she starts coming at Laura. First of all, Laura never addressed you, sweetheart. So I don't know what you're doing. Started coming at her and telling her about she's not a girl's girl and this and that, and you were telling him things about me and the pods and ray-tay-tay-tay-tay. Baby, if y'all don't see the triangulation, you're smoking. Okay, you're smoking or you're joking because the triangulation is real. Why is Jeremy now telling Sarah Ann that Laura was supposedly talking about her in the pods to him? Who the hell cares? What was she telling him that was so bad? What did she tell him that was so bad? Because clearly it wasn't bad enough because he over there with you now, ma'am. So what the hell could she have possibly told him that was so bad? Is she trying to suggest that Laura told him those things to sway him, just like the Megan Fox situation? Like, what is Sarah Ann's point? And she most definitely is a pick-me because she sat there and thought she was on the damn ultimatum, okay? And told him about he needs to deal with that. Side chick of the year. Side chick of the damn year. Oh my god. AD's face is killing me. She's giving Ike Turner. Ooh, it's giving Ike Turner. The Ike Turner meme. Oh my gosh. So that's pretty much when Jessica starts cussing out Sarah Ann and telling her, you're the pick-me. Very much that. So Sarah Ann tries to make it a point to say everybody knows that she's a chatty patty, okay? And that she talks a lot and everybody knows this. And so why is it so taboo that she could stay out till 5 o'clock in the morning? Oh, shoot. Till 5 o'clock in the morning just talking. Ma'am, if I'm with somebody that I'm attracted to, and we're coming from a bar, I'm finding it kind of hard to believe that till 5 a.m., we was just up talking to each other's faces. Okay, I'm having a little bit of trouble. Is it possible? Absolutely. But in this situation, it's not given that. Because if y'all were just talking, why y'all couldn't text? Why couldn't he drop you off and you continue your conversation otherwise? Hold on, let me go say hi to my kids before they start acting up. So because emotions are obviously very high and people started to confuse the Love is Blind stage for the Maury show, Sarah Ann starts talking about, I never invited him in my house. I never invited him into my apartment. Girl, you never had sex in the car before? Child, don't. Because this is what I was talking about earlier when I said you gotta pay attention to what people are saying. The wording is too specific. When the wording is too specific, you know somebody is lying. Okay, what do you mean you never invited him into the apartment? You don't have to invite him into the apartment for y'all to kiss, for y'all to boink. Nothing. You never had to invite anybody inside anywhere. Hell, y'all could have had it and had sex in the damn parking lot for all we know, outside of the vehicle. Okay, but their wording is too specific and she keeps reiterating this. This is the same thing she said during the season, okay? She said this to AD. He never came into my apartment. This is how people lie without lying, okay? This is how people tell on themselves and think that they're getting away with something. Baby, you is guilty.
Sarah Ann, did y'all kiss?
No, absolutely not. No.
Okay.
So, Laura, what do you think hearing all this? They continue to maintain they just talked till 5 a.m. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't care what they did.
Good for you,
till 5
girl.
a.m. I think they're both disgusting.
Okay. And so Laura tells us that Jeremy pretty much spent the whole day with her family. Like, he met everybody because the weddings are approaching. And she said nowhere in her mind did she think she wasn't getting married during the process where he was concerned. She said they would bump heads a bit, you know, but it was nothing that she thought would make them not say yes on decision day. She's trying to tell us how fake and conniving he is because he's in her family's face. She says her old wrinkly grandma, sorry, not wrinkly, child, I'm sorry. I was trying to, I couldn't remember the age, so I was just saying, you know, the lady is clearly old, okay? She's like 80s, 90s old, okay? So she's pretty much saying, like, you know, her grandma was ready to get on a plane to come to her wedding. And the same night that he meets her family, or same day that he meets her family and is in her family's faces, is the same night he went and saw Sarah Ann and told Sarah Ann that same night that he's going to break up with Laura. Trifling, okay? And so this is why we have to know that trifling behavior comes in every shade, okay? It's not just a black people thing that niggas is trifling. Niggas across the board, okay? Men across the board are trifling. Women, some women as well, okay? But that, because Sarah Ann is trifling. But the fact of the matter is, Jeremy, a whole damn liar, okay? I told you these J names is dangerous. And not only that, she said that he was reassuring her how much he loved her. So why are you breaking up with her then, sir? And it's not like Sarah Ann is like this, ooh, this babe. Okay, Sarah Ann and Jeremy make a great match. A perfect match. Because they're both trifling. So just let them be in their corner, okay? But I'm so happy that Laura is a woman. That's a woman. Okay, you remember what 80s mama said? That's a woman. Okay, that's a woman that knows what she wants. And she's not letting no man take her for idiot. And she's also not letting no man take her for puppy show. So I live for Miss Laura, okay? I'm going to tell you guys something. And when I tell you guys it, you're not going to be able to unsee it. But I couldn't unsee it all season long because this is all I saw when I would see Laura. Laura looks like she is Woody Harrelson's daughter, okay? Literally his twin sister. Not even his daughter, girl. His twin sister. She looked like Woody Harrelson in a wig and a nice eye makeup, girl. That's what she looked like. And I'm just like, the whole season, I said, this girl looked like Woody. This lady looks like Woody. But I never told you guys because I didn't want to ruin it for you guys as you're watching the show. So now you know. That's all I could see the entire season. All I was thinking about was Red. You know the movie Red? That's all I could think about the whole time. Now, obviously, Sarah Ann and Jeremy did not plan to meet up. But Jeremy knew that Sarah Ann was going to be there. He was forewarned and still went because he had his plans. And nobody can convince me otherwise. He knew that Sarah Ann was there and he said, F it. I'm gonna go and see if I can make it shake, because I know she feeling me. And that window, that door was still open, and he knew that because of the email. The email, girl. I'm so old. Because of the Instagram message she sent him. And also, if he's having issues with Laura and is actually looking for a way out of that relationship, he's going to see how he can sabotage it. Okay? And some people do it on purpose, and some people do it subconsciously. For me, I think that he did it on purpose, because there's no way this man thought that he gonna roll up in this house at 5 o'clock in the morning and Laura's just gonna be like, oh, do you want me to make you breakfast? Like, sir, that was never gonna be a thing. So they end up showing this long clip. When I say long, I was like stunned that it was still on the screen. It's too long. And so they show a clip of Laura and Sarah Ann having a discussion at the lake party, which is crazy, because if you remember the lake party, you remember that Sarah Ann and Jeremy went riding off into the freaking moonlight on the jet skis. So the fact that her and Sarah had a conversation is crazy to me, because I thought that Laura only spoke to Jeremy that day and cussed him clean out. You know, let him know that he is a manipulator and a gaslighter and a narc. Like, that's all I saw. So when they showed this clip, I was like, oh, they had a chit chat. And based on the body language, based on the conversation, when Laura was telling Sarah Ann, she was pretty much saying, like, this man is giving Jekyll and Hyde, okay? He's not real, okay? So I don't know what the hell, but she was pretty much forewarning Sarah Ann and telling her, be careful. Sarah Ann at the time, when she was saying what she was saying to Laura, I could tell that she wasn't going to say nothing bad. Girl, I was not talking to you, Siri.
Okay.
So I could tell that Sarah Ann was listening to what Laura was saying, but in her mind thinking, because she's a pygmy, she's thinking, that's your story. It's not going to be mine. You just wait and see. Okay, ma'am, you just freaking wait and see, because he's not going to do Sarah Ann any better than he does Laura. The difference between Laura and Sarah Ann is that Sarah Ann is more likely to put up with whatever BS Jeremy dishes out. And that is why we see, or what is revealed in this reunion, is that they have had trouble in their relationship. They were fighting before. They've allegedly broken up twice. And then they moved in together? Huh? What? The solution to fixing your relationship is never going to be move in together after y'all been fighting and breaking up. Like, why are you guys forcing that? That's crazy. We're not even at that part of the episode yet, but we'll get there momentarily. The fact that Sarah Ann and Laura had this conversation, and then Sarah still played in Laura's face, riding off in the jet skis, girl, Sarah Ann needed to be popped. I feel like Sarah Ann had this conversation with Laura, one, because she thought it was going to air. She knew what drama she was in. She thought it was going to air. So she was like, you know what? Let me save face now. Okay, because I already know how the internet gets down. So let me save face, have this conversation with her, and tell Laura, listen, your feelings are valid. But it wasn't genuine. So you guys tell me, do you guys think Sarah Ann's reasoning for sending that message to Jeremy is valid because this is not a normal situation? Or do you guys feel like because she knows what the process is, she should have just left it alone? But it's like a man with the wandering eyes gonna wander, googly eyed man dripping out of his head, okay? That's just what it is. So if she sent the message and Jeremy really wasn't problematic by nature, he would have never responded, liked it, nothing, would have blocked and deleted, okay? That's the kind of man that you want to be with, right? Somebody that's going to get the message and be like, I know this heifer is not talking to me. I'm over here booed up with Laura. Like, you know what I mean? But that's not his energy. That was not his energy towards the situation. And so that really was the red flag. And I think Laura knew that, because remember Laura's family was on Jeremy's side when that happened, because he was like, I thought I did the right thing, I told her. But Laura still had her reservations about it. She was like, no, because you shouldn't have acknowledged it. And as we see now, Laura was always right. I feel like if her intent was truly just to get that off of her chest, when she met him in person, she wouldn't have done what she did. So that couldn't have been her natural or her real intent. So I could tell when I'm watching these clips where Laura is laying into Jeremy, Sarah Ann is nodding and acting like she agrees, but she at the end of the day is thinking like, well, I'm gonna see for myself. Thanks for the heads up, but you worry about you, don't worry about me and my new man. That's the energy to give it. I'm gonna show y'all.
Literal fucking clown robot in the pods. And like who he said he was and how he handles situation and how he conducts himself as a man and a human being. Sarah Ann is not how he hasn't shown me an ounce of that since he's been out of the pods.
Like you think he's like an all talk and then like
100%.
once you're in the situation.
100%.
I mean, there is a part of me, which I voiced to him. I was like, there's a part of me that's like, are you...
Now she's trying to be relatable.
Confused still? He's like, no. But I'm like, now talking to you, I'm like, is he?
Girl.
Just be careful, babe. Like,
Pretty much was telling her Jeremy full of it. Everybody that signed up for the show this year seems like they signed up for the wrong damn show. Like, she needed to sign up for damn throuple, couple to throuple, which I will be watching and reviewing, recapping. I know I'm a little late in the season, but we're going to bang it out, girl. Let me not give you any promises. I intend to, okay? Shout out to my good sis Lulu for giving me the peacock. I'm so ready to dive in and watch Couple to Throuple. Now, there was a part of this conversation with Sarah Ann where Laura exposes Jeremy because Jeremy threw Jimmy under the bus. And then they pan over to Jimmy's face. Jimmy's like, what the frig? Because she said that Jeremy kept worrying about his image after that whole situation happened, and he just kept talking about his image and said he doesn't want to look worse than Jimmy. And I'm sat there puzzled because I'm like, Jimmy didn't have a bad edit. Like, I don't know what kind of edit Jimmy thought or the people thought that Jimmy was going to have. He must have been doing some real shiesty stuff because the public never hated Jimmy. People had more of a problem with Chelsea than they did with Jimmy. People's biggest issue with Jimmy was the fact that we saw through the Megan Fox scandal. We knew that he picked her because he was manipulated to pick her. Okay, that's what we knew, and we thought he was dead wrong. We knew that the idea of Jessica having a child threw Jimmy off so far that he couldn't even catch himself. Okay, like he was lost in the sauce. He was like, I can't be a stepdad. Like his brain was like mush. Okay, that was really it though. Jimmy wasn't really like a bad guy. He didn't really give bad vibes on the show. You know, he was kind of whatever. He had a lot of drama, but I think Jeremy thought that the fact that Jimmy had the situation with the friend that he slept with was so bad that he was going to get a bad edit, but he didn't. So I don't know why Jeremy even threw Jimmy's name out there to begin with, but that is insane.
Yeah.
the guy likes attention. Since that night happened last Saturday, all he's been fucking talking about is his image and how he looks worse than Jimmy. So I don't know why the fuck he came on this show, but it sure as fuck wasn't for a marriage or for fucking love because he's not ready for that.
So Jeremy, of course, apologized to Jimmy because why did you say that, sir? And then Jimmy's like, appreciate the strays because he was catching strays all night. Okay. Apparently, while they were in the pods, okay, Jimmy was struggling between his decision. He knew he had to pick between Jessica and Chelsea. And because of that situation, he was high stress. And everybody was trying to comfort him except for Jeremy. Jeremy said this, chill.
At least I can sleep tonight knowing Jimmy's the villain. When I had a decision to make and everybody else was picking me up and that was the word you left me with.
Okay.
That's true.
I don't recall saying that.
I don't recall.
It was on your mind.
Ooh! If I could tell you guys about I don't recall. If somebody says they don't recall, they recall it all. Okay? If somebody says I don't recall, they recall it all. They don't want to flat out deny, right? And say I never said that because they know that they either said it or it's something that sounds like they would say. And so they start questioning themselves like, did I say that? Oh, damn it. Okay, well, I'm not going to deny it. I'm going to say I don't recall it. The thing about trauma is, okay, because Jimmy was obviously traumatized. The thing about trauma is, if you recall it, because it's your trauma, okay, the other person doesn't need to recall it. And so that's what we see here. Don't trust nobody that says, I do not recall. Okay? Because Kelsey didn't recall either. She was sat there on the damn stand talking about, I do not recall. Stevie always, I don't recall that. Hell, Bill Clinton said he didn't have sexual relations with that woman. People that say, I don't recall all too well. Okay? And that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Okay? So if somebody says, I don't recall, I don't believe them. You recall. But you're not going to admit that you recall. And you don't have to recall. Because I do. Jeremy is very uncomfortable here. Because one thing about it is once that mask slips off and people start looking at you a little differently, because now people are going to be like, well, damn, you weren't just after the women's, you were after the men's too. You were telling the men that they're the villain. He's the villain. He's been the villain the entire time. Y'all gotta watch out for these names, I'm telling you. Oh my goodness. I think that is a crazy statement for him to have made. Like, how could you sit there and say you could sleep well knowing that Jimmy's the villain tonight? And I get it. I get that it could have been dark humor. Because I'm guilty of dark humor, okay? Literally. But if Jimmy was clearly in distress and all the guys were coming to him and supporting him, and you're the only one that says that, it's like, read the room, brother. Read the room. But you could tell Jeremy was close to tears because he's probably so regretting ever even doing the show, because he has just been exposed on so many levels and people are just judging him and, you know, telling him about himself. He probably has to turn his comments off online. But like, that's why, baby, if you ain't got thick skin, okay, if your skin's not thicker than a bowl of cold grits, then you need to stay your little butt off TV, off YouTube, off the internet. You got to have thick skin to be in the entertainment game, okay? Like, thick skin. And so when I first started on YouTube, baby, my skin was thick. But once my numbers started to grow, my skin, and I had kids, my skin thinned out a bit. I couldn't take some of this because it's one thing to come for me, but you come for my kids, and I'm like, I'm mama bear down. And so, you know, people have come for my children. People just have no tact or decorum. It's one thing to clock me, clock my wig, okay? There's one thing to clock me, but you go clock a baby? Oh, the people are sick. The people are sick, and I can laugh about stuff now, right? But because you just grow and you evolve, and baby, I'm Holy Ghost down, okay? So like, a lot of things don't hit me the way that they would hit other people, but you gotta have thick skin to do jobs like this or to go on a reality show, because if you get casted as the villain and you don't have a fan base to uplift you, baby, girl, you gonna struggle. And so Jeremy is looking like he's close to tears. He looking like Chelsea. They turn to AD and they ask her what she thinks about what Sarah Ann said and, you know, the interaction. And AD is like, sorry for what? Oh my God, I love AD.
I don't think it matters. You still pursued him. You still went after him. So sorry for what?
Vanessa ends up asking Sarah Ann about how her relationship with the women in the group is now. Sarah Ann starts going off about how they removed her from the group chat, and they reveal to us that she unfollowed all the women but still follows the men. Pick me behavior. Because what? So she follows their fiancés or their husbands. Well, only one person got married, but she unfollowed all of them but still only follows the men. Yeah, no.
I don't talk to any of the women.
That's because she liked to unfollow us and still follow our fiancés at the lake day, which I thought was strange.
Jessica tells Sarah Ann, y'all suck. Okay, you guys did not handle it with grace and class and dignity. You guys were messy about it, and that is why everybody has an issue. Everybody should really be minding their own business, but I get it. If that's your dog, you're gonna ride, okay? Laura's their dog, so they ride for her, period. Those really are the girls. Because even Chelsea, which I was actually stunned when Chelsea said something to Sarah Ann, because I felt like Chelsea's not that kind of person. at least where women are concerned. But I was actually really surprised when she spoke up and said something to Sarah Ann as well. And she was like, nobody was mean to you. And so I'm just like, and Sarah Ann's not denying that. Sarah Ann is not saying you girls were mean to me. That's a lie. I got the screenshots to prove it. I got the receipts. She's not saying that. So I believe Chelsea when she says nobody was mean to you, you know, because she's saying she got iced out of this group chat. But at the end of the day, it's stupid that Sarah Ann would be in the group chat because y'all don't like her. So let her leave. The way I have no idea what part I was at because the power of today has just been going out every 5 damn minutes. So I'm going to try to hurry this up, girl, because we're not going to get a good video if we don't hurry up. So they ask if anybody has seen Jeremy since the show wrapped or whatever. And Chelsea decides to say every time she sees him, they're broken up. I said gag.
Yeah. Okay. Every time I see him, they're broken up.
Ooh! Yeah. Messy Chelsea.
They're broken up every time I see him.
So when have you seen them?
There's more.
Okay, it's giving Jeremy don't know how to be a man and Sarah Ann don't know how to be a lady. Okay, because why are y'all breaking up so frequently? 2 times is a little bit, 2 times too many. Okay, 2 times is 1 time too many. 2 times is too many, period. And so Jeremy does not like the fact that Chelsea just outed him. And because they're trying to sit there with their hands in each other's hand, like their relationship is perfect. Like they don't have any issues. They're madly in love. And, you know, they found love outside of the pods, right? That's what they're trying to give. But Chelsea just blew their whole spot up because y'all have broken up. Y'all are not this perfect couple. And Jeremy's like, we've been through some real life stuff, real life relationship stuff. Like what? Like what? You lose them how you get them, okay? And that's on period.
We've contemplated separating from each other. We've had times where we've had to make up in order to make that happen. And at the end of it, we ended up moving in together.
Stupid.
October.
That's stupid.
There's
Okay,
some missing like story.
You don't fight, bicker, and argue and then move in together. You don't break up twice and then move in together. That is the dumbest thing I ever heard. And I will not be surprised if in 6 months, 7 months, a year from now, we see them making damn TMZ or the news or something because police were called for a domestic dispute. Because that's what it's giving. You don't fight and bicker and then move in. You don't break up and then move in. That is not going to solve the issue, okay? So I would put money down that there's going to be a domestic situation where the police are called to the residence, period. And not wishing that that's the case, but that's just what I feel is going to be the case, okay? And we're going to see a headline that says, Love is Blind stars, blah, blah, blah. Laura warned her. Laura told you he not real. He not the same person that I thought he was. So I think this is why people are lacking empathy and sympathy for Miss Sarah Ann and for Jeremy, because y'all showed your whole entire derriere and then want everybody to pretend like y'all didn't, okay? Y'all showed your booty and it stink. And you want us to pretend like it don't stink. It stink, okay? Stank.
In there, I'm not going to say everything's been perfect, but we're still fighting for that every day.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Well,
fight
Sarah,
every day
I have
for
to
my
ask you about
relationship.
something else that
No.
happened fairly recently.
If you had to fight every day for your relationship, baby, it's not worth fighting for. Okay? You're not supposed to have to fight every day. So I feel like they moved in to make sure that their toxic environment stays toxic. They moved in to ensure they have somebody to argue with. Because there is no way that I'm going to be fighting every day in a relationship. I need to just be happy, okay? I need to just be happy. Why would I want that? Why would anybody want to have to fight every day to achieve happiness in their relationship, in their marriage, in their... That's a clear indicator that you're not supposed to be together and you're forcing the issue. Because of what? Maybe the sex is good. Maybe you guys are just really physically attracted to each other. Maybe there's other things that they give you in the relationship and so you're like, okay, it's worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So Sarah Ann and Jeremy need to just break up because clearly it's not working. And so they clock Sarah Ann's internet behavior and pretty much tell her, leave that stuff over there, because she pretty much got on the internet and said, are you not entertained? Okay, she said, we gave you guys entertainment. We gave you drama. And you guys are eating it up. So leave me alone. Okay? And so Nick and Vanessa pretty much told her, girl, don't bring our franchise down with you. Okay, just because you are getting brought down does not mean that we need to get brought down with you, ma'am. Okay, we are struggling enough as it is. We do not need you to add fuel to the fire because people are going to think that we are hiring actors. We hire real people to be on our show, or hire, but we get real people to be on our show that are really looking for love. And you are over here saying what on the internet?
Oh God.
We're calling everybody out today. I love it.
I love it too.
It is a reality television. It is meant to entertain you. And I think that's exactly what we're doing. We didn't miss with this one, baby. We didn't miss.
So be very, very clear about this right now. Was this all just for entertainment?
I will say this, that I fell in love with who Jeremy is as a person, and we've had a strong connection since the very beginning of this experiment.
So there is definitely a Sarah Ann hate train. And even Nick and Vanessa are on it, baby. Okay, so they are calling her out for her shenanigans online, and she is doing a lot of talking in circles, but she's like, I was receiving a lot of hate online. That's why I posted that, yada, 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 yada. But Vanessa is really trying to make it clear that this is not what this is supposed to be for. And so they're pretty much now asking her, is you guys' relationship real, or is it publicity or for attention? Because maybe that's why it's not working out, because y'all did not enter the relationship for the right reasons. And you guys are probably trauma bonding over the fact that both of y'all are getting hate online right now. So that makes sense to me. All this other stuff she's talking about, I don't care none about. At this point, Laura chimes back in with some very valid points. Like, again, she said her 96-year-old grandmother had a flight to her wedding. She really thought she was getting married. This was not entertainment for her. This was, I'm really trying to find my person. And y'all did what y'all did. And then you came in here and had smoke for me. When I didn't do anything to you, baby girl, you messed up my engagement. Okay, or you didn't mess it up, but you was a part of the reason it got messed up, period. So you're not really sorry, despite the fact that you said you were. And I said, Laura, chef's kiss, ate down, left no crumbs. She let Sarah Ann have it, and she should, because Sarah Ann is saying, I'm a character. Like, girl, get your pictures taken, go to the agency, and get you a job if you want to be on TV. A lot of people think that going this route is going to get there. You're not going to be the next Kardashian, ma'am. You're not going to be the next Gene Simmons, Family Jewels. It's not happening for you. You're going to sign up for this Love is Blind business, and then we're never going to see you again because we don't give a damn. Okay? This show is not the show that's going to launch your career. Sure, some of them end up on Perfect Match. I've never seen Perfect Match. There's a certain demographic that is watching the spin-off shows. I tried to watch Ultimatum. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I don't mind Love is Blind, but I don't really care for Ultimatum. I haven't seen Perfect Match yet. Perfect Match is probably like Are You the One, Love Island, those vibes, right? Even Too Hot to Handle. The Bachelor in Paradise. Like, they're all pretty much very redundant shows. I don't know that we need another one. And so, like I said, I'm going to see if Perfect Match is a better show than this, because this show is a mess. But if that's what Sarah Ann wanted, you messed up when you left with Jeremy. They're not giving you another job, ma'am. They're not giving you guys a spinoff. And after this, child, they might just block you from TikTok and Instagram. So I don't know what to tell Sarah Ann, but she is just not looking too good on the stage. Now, Vanessa is trying to clarify that the show, Love is Blind, did not make a mockery of Laura's situation. I don't know if that's a fair statement or not, because at the end of the day, the producers are not deaf, blind, or dumb. They know what they're doing. They know what they're editing. They know how they're filming. They know how to take advantage of certain situations. And yes, the situation with the situation with Sarah Ann and Jeremy did happen off camera. You know, the producers they only learned of things after the fact, but the way that they put the show together and let us see, they are not innocent in what happened. They're not fully to blame, but they know what they're doing when they are giving the contestants alcohol access to their phones. Because remember, on most reality shows back in the day, you lost your phone. You did not get it back. Okay, like on Big Brother, for instance, they cannot have their phone for the full 100-something days. That's because you can't have contact with the outside world. This whole situation would have been different if they never gave them their phones back. If they never gave them their phones back, this would have played out completely differently, because Jeremy would have never seen that message that opened the door to the situation even unfolding to begin with. However, fate is fate. So even though he wouldn't have seen the message, he potentially could have still gone out and ran into Sarah Ann organically, and then it still could have played out the way that it did. I feel like Laura dodged a bullet, so there's really nothing for her to be upset about at this point. When I say filming this video has been so stressful today, it's not even funny. My mic died, I had no idea. But because they gave them back their phones, the show was kind of at fault, okay? They shouldn't be giving their phones back. That should be a part of the show when you sign up for it. Now, at this point, Sarah Ann does again apologize to Laura, and Jeremy apologizes as well. And Laura is happy with this because Laura said that's all she's been wanting is some accountability for the last year and hasn't gotten any. And so she's saying that, you know, Jeremy's finally having or showing some kind of accountability for what happened in their marriage or relationship. So they ask Laura if she's dating. She confirms that she is dating. She doesn't give any other details, and we really didn't care for them. And then Laura says, wait, are we not going to address bean dip? Girl, well, nobody think about no damn bean dip, okay? So she pretty much apologizes again, or you know, states that it was not supposed to be taken the way it was, and you know, she's a goofball and all these things, and just like she loves Clay, she loves AD, blah, 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 blah. Jeremy also apologizes because he says that he should have never brought it up. That was pretty much that. So then we moved right along into the next scandal of the season, Trevor. Based on looks alone, you would never look at Trevor and think that man is a cheater, a liar, toxic. You know, you would never think that, because your first thought when you see a mullet is they a little quirky. And I don't think people associate quirky with cheating. But let me tell you something. It's not about being quirky. A mullet is a sure sign of crazy, okay? If a man or a woman is rocking a mullet and it's not a wig, like a fly black girl mullet, it's a different story. We're not talking about that kind of mullet. We're talking about an actual haircut mullet, okay? When a man is doing that, he's trying to distract us, okay? He's trying to distract you from the fact that he is toxic. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it, okay? Because Trevor came up on this stage and he gave us Silence of the Lambs 2.0, okay? You see how Chelsea was silent? Trevor was nothing. Nothing. Man was holding his breath. He thought he was a scuba diver. Like, I couldn't believe how he came and presented himself on that damn stage, okay? He was sweating bullets. Psoriasis was popping up as we spoke, okay? It was a mess. So they called Trevor out because, of course, the scandal, if you didn't know, was that Trevor had a lady on the outside. Not only did he have a lady, she fully knew about the show, which means that he wasn't on the show to find love. He was there for other reasons, ulterior motives, right? Problematic. Unacceptable! The crazy thing about this is that the girlfriend is the one that leaked the text messages. And I never got the story on why, and I never looked it up to see why she leaked it. I don't know if she was feeling slighted, but Trevor looks like he wants to be anywhere but here right now. Like anywhere but here. While he had this girlfriend, he was messaging her on his way to the pods. Then when he got his phone back when he was out of the pods, he told this girl he loves her. He told her he's gonna marry her. She's calling him Pumpkin. And I'm sat there with my mouth on the floor because it's just like, what is happening? Not Trevor. When they start talking to him, they're like, Trevor, in the beginning of the show, or when the show aired, everybody was like hashtagging protect Trevor at all costs. Justice for Trevor. We love Trevor. Trevor down. Trevor's my guy. All these things. And now that's not what they're saying, because we were all bamboozled, okay? Because even me in my own reviews was like, Trevor has Chelsea's back. Trevor didn't have nobody's back. He didn't even have his own back, okay? And so Nick and Vanessa are sat there reading the text messages out loud for everybody to hear, okay? When they ask him about it, the man's first inkling is to gaslight the people. The man's first thing to say is, she wasn't my girlfriend. It wasn't even like that, okay? He gave us to believe what you want to believe. Watch the silence. If you didn't believe me.
Nah, say it with your chest.
Period.
Don't get quiet now.
When I say the show is giving Maury and Jerry Springer, it's crazy. Do, 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 do,
I had a whole thing planned to say. I don't know.
I don't know. Sir. You gonna have to come correct. He gonna have to say more than that. What do you mean I don't know? How don't you know? What don't you know? I don't know. No.
Yeah.
Yeah?
So
nothing to say.
I guess I'll start
Gagged
by
him.
saying that I was not dating her technically. Like, I never said, will you be my girlfriend before.
A narcissist never does. They don't ask you to be your girlfriend. They just U-Haul you, okay? They put you in the back of the U-Haul and they say, you are mine now. You are mine now. You're dead ass? This is what you're coming with? I wasn't dating her. Oh, just kind of dating her. Just kind of dating somebody and saying, I love you and I'm going to marry you? Where do they do that at? I've never in my life heard of anything like this. Was it an arranged marriage? What do you mean? Like, he gagged me, okay? So then he says that the girl that is in those messages is the typical girl that he would go for in real life. And it's pretty much saying, like, that is the reason why he wanted to do the show, because he wanted to explore, okay? Sir, if you don't find you a Yellow Pages, you couldn't explore in your city without going on this show to do it. Like, I think Trevor took the word experiment very literally, because this show was leading to marriage. It's not a show where you're just dating, right? If you wanted to just date, then you need to go on Bachelor in Paradise or something like that, okay? Perfect Match even. Child, anywhere, but not here. This is not it. And so he does say there's no justifying that.
Like, there's no justifying that. That sounds fucking horrible, what I just said in that. That is horrible.
But pretty much what happens is he ends up just talking himself into a hole, okay? Now, I will say Trevor did have the right mindset, okay? Because I said you have to believe that you're going to come out on the other side a husband or a wife, right? You can't do what Clay did and just be like, it's not going to work for me, right? So Trevor had the right mindset, but he's still wrong, very wrong in everything else that he did. So pretty much he's saying, like, yes, he did the show, but he's saying if he made it out of the pods at somebody, that's who he would be with. So why are you still texting the person on the outside? That's what everybody was trying to get to the bottom of, okay? Because Nick is like, sir, what are you doing? He's very unsure of himself. He's stuttering, you know. But he's saying he told the girl that he would be with Chelsea. Like, if Chelsea was the person that said, I want to be with you, and he said, I want to be with you too, he would be with Chelsea. He wouldn't be back and forth between the two of them. That's what he's claiming, right?
We're so fucking toxic.
Then he said this mess.
So toxic that after you got out of the pods, you said, I'm going to marry you?
No, yes. I'm toxic as well. I admit that. Like, I need a lot of, like, therapy. I went in with this of, like...
I went into this with, I know I'm toxic. You have no business being on this show. No business. This is for people that are really serious about wanting to get married and move on with their life and do the adult thing. And you're going to sit there and say, I know I'm toxic as well? Who life are you trying to ruin, sir? Oh my God. And you know what's so crazy? Trevor is not the only man with this problem that knows they're toxic and will sign up for a show like this regardless to wreak havoc, okay? I don't know if you guys watch Married at First Sight Australia, but Bronte and Harrison, oh my God. That was scary to watch. Scary to watch. I was beside myself the whole time. Trevor admittingly acknowledging the fact that he's toxic yet signed up for a love show, is saying he's aware he needs therapy, all that tells me is he is never planning to go to therapy. Because what are you doing? It's not like when he got out of the damn pods after spitting all that good-ish in Chelsea's ear that he started therapy. Or maybe he did, yeah. I don't think so. Once you acknowledge the fact that you need therapy and you don't go to therapy, it's a problem. Because why are you saying that? Because it sounds good? Like, why are you saying that?
I definitely am not here to grill you by any means. It didn't work out for us. And I had just this intuition of why I shouldn't have picked you. I couldn't explain it. And now I can.
I have a theory. And my theory is that Trevor was not going to be with whoever he came out the pods with. I think he was always going to have this lady on the side. I think he probably told her he going to get his acting career up off the ground. He going to get this money. He's going to be on reality shows and he's going to be popular and create a life for them. And he's just doing the show to, you know, make something of himself so that they can live together in the end. They can be together in the end. That's what it's giving. Because I don't understand how the girl could be so okay with him going on the show unless they made prior agreements or prior arrangements about why he's doing the show. However, he could also have just been telling her that because he is crazy and wants to make sure that he has her on her puppet strings at all time. He want to be Geppetto, okay? Trevor tries to tell them, I was really serious about the show. Like, I wasn't playing any games. I know it's a weird situation that I was in, but I was serious about the show, and I was really having a hard time, and Johnny saw me. Y'all trust Johnny. Like, Johnny saw me, you know, it was really bad. Like, they didn't even show half of it, and Johnny does concur. Now, Amy then says, okay, well, were you crying about leaving the show, or were you crying about leaving Chelsea? He's like, I didn't care about leaving the show. And then he asked, can I leave now? He did not want to be up there anymore, okay?
Leave right now.
Were you more hurt of leaving Chelsea, or was it because you were leaving the show?
I didn't care about leaving the show. Can I, like, just leave right now?
Chelsea has been raked over the coals.
No, and I will give Chelsea...
At any point, you could have come to her rescue. Even I have asked for a ceasefire on Jimmy.
Forward your career and be on TV?
No, what career?
What career sent me to the stratosphere? What career? That's what I was wondering, because what career, right? But people use reality shows like this as their launch pad, I swear, to do this, to show off their brands or whatever they do, like to their businesses, to get a social media following. Because once you have that social media following, if you can make it shake, you can make some money, right? So depending on how either cool or problematic you are on a reality show, people will follow you on social media, and then you can find a way to make money on social media just because the numbers are there, right? If the engagement is there, there's money to be made. Trevor is like, ma'am, what career? I don't have no career, but I'm not buying it because what he's saying is not equaling anything that adds up. So he addresses Chelsea and he tells her, I only owe you an explanation for anything, but I was myself in those pods and I will talk to you off camera if you would like that. You know, that's what he tells Chelsea, and I don't think anything is wrong with that. He's not wrong. She is the only person he owes an explanation to. Okay, because they was ready to chew him up like they had chewed up Sarah Ann, spat her out, and kicked her into the garbage can, okay? But Nick decides to put out a PSA and says, keep your fame-hungry butt at home. That's not what this show is about. We believe in our experiment, and we want our experiment to work and last. Well, then do better casting, okay? Do better casting, Nick and Vanessa, and whoever's doing the casting department. Do better casting, because that's really where the problem is. You guys are not screening the people correctly. You're not screening them. You're not asking them the right questions. You're not finding out if they're in therapy or not. You guys are not providing a therapist. That's why I love Married at First Sight. They provide the counselors to guide the couples through what they're going through. And I'm sure they're always going to have access to them after the 8 weeks, right? That's what Love is Blind is missing. So if Love is Blind wants more success, they need to present professionals in therapy, individual therapy, couples counseling, and sex therapy, just like on Married at First Sight. Intimacy therapist, counselor, whatever. Like, they need to implement those changes in order for people to stop coming on the show thinking it's for a friggin' poppy show. Because it's not, okay? That's what they need to do. I'm just suggesting, okay? Send them this video, okay? Tell them this is what y'all need. Y'all are batting at a pretty low average, in my opinion. It's not enough. It should be 2/3 and 1/3 not making it down the altar and, you know, successfully staying married. It should be 2/3 of the couples that are meeting in the pod that are genuinely there for those reasons and can successfully have a relationship. But people are just signing up for the show for a quick bag at this point.
For people who come here with ulterior motives, we've got to call you out for it. So, Trevor, I know you asked to leave. You can leave now, man.
Now you got dismissed, child, like the school bell to the reg. I can't. A sign in the audience is crazy, especially a sign that says AD all day. AD says that, you know, she kept her distance after the wedding. I would not have thought so with the way that they was kissing and hugging after the fact, saying I guess that was their goodbyes. I was surprised that she said that, you know, it took her a few long weeks to get back in touch with him. And he said he also, out of respect, just didn't reach out because he didn't want to maybe trigger her or something, girl. I don't know. So they asked who contacted who first, and AD's like, of course, he called me, child. I ain't calling no nigga. I ain't texting no nigga. I said, I know that's right. Clay reached out. He said he did obviously reach out before that. She didn't respond. So then he decided one day to call her. I guess she picked up. AD says that her wedding day was really hard for her to watch. She thought that it was like this grand old lead up to a crazy letdown. And I said, ma'am, he was telling you the whole time. Okay, he was telling you the whole time that he don't want to marry you. He's not going to marry you. Hell, he even said it on the day of the wedding on the stage to say no. She was ignoring the red flag. We can't even entirely put that on Clay because I feel like with the way he was beating her over the head with this I'm not married type, I'm not wedding type, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not husband material. The way he was beating her over the head with that, it was like, how did you miss the red flags? Because he was just straight up telling her. It's not like he was hiding it and the mask was slipping off. He was just telling her straight up. Sorry about Nola crying. Okay, Nola is doing too damn much right now. My mom is there is doing the food. My mom is making them some food. The little girl's insisting that I make the damn food. Girl, and she does it all the time. I don't want whamma, is what she calls it. I don't want whamma. I want my mommy to make it. Girl, I'm working. Okay? Child. And over yogurt at that. She wanted a bowl of yogurt with maple syrup. That's what she wanted. And this girl is going to cry at my do all that because she doesn't want she doesn't want my mom to get her the maple syrup or yogurt. She wants me to get it. Oh, kids are crazy. When Clay was talking, it very much gave how he was all season. I feel like he rehearsed what he could possibly say in the mirror, okay? Like he didn't want to say too much, too little. He wanted it to be just right. It just seems so like, does he have a PR person? Because he's saying all the right things.
You know, like a fly on the wall to your own life. And, you know, just kind of seeing everything. And
he's just so
it was really
fake
emotional
to me.
for me to watch. You know, seeing AD interact on the other lounge and how excited she was. Like, to me, watching it, I just felt like the biggest dick. I felt like, you know, I disrespected her family and I apologized to her, you know, your mom. And
I don't really get the disrespect angle because I don't think that disrespectful is the right word, okay? Unless he was talking to them sisters and was saying, oh, I can't wait to marry your sister. Then he's just a full-blown liar, okay? If he went over there and was like, oh, I love AD. I just can't wait to make her my wife and yada, 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 yada. But we saw on camera how many times he told her he not ready for this. He not gonna, like, he has cold feet so many times. I don't know why AD decided that she don't care what he say. She's still gonna say yes regardless. Like, I don't know why she thought that he wasn't gonna embarrass her. I think that's really what it was. I feel like she thought, okay, once we're there and I'm in my dress, there's no way he's gonna sit up there and embarrass me on national television. I think that's where AD's head was at. Despite the fact that she had a gut feeling that this man's gonna say no, I think she was happy that she got to go first. Whereas we at home were like, we wish Clay would have had to go first, because at least if Clay said no first, or if she did what that girl did, I think it was in the last season, where she was like, you know, I want you to answer first, because whatever answer he give, I'm giving too. And the man said no. So I think AD should have been like, I'm gonna let Clay go first. Does Clay think that he's at a freaking conference? Like a sports conference, you know, after the game? Like, does he think that that's where he's at? Because look at this.
Would you have done things differently?
You know, Nick, that's a good question. I think
Like,
throughout
what?
this whole process, one of the biggest things that I struggled with was getting out of my own way. I kind of battle with like the morality of like, am I?
This is a
good
yes or
person?
no
Am I a bad person?
question. We don't care if you're a good person or a bad person. Say this is a yes or no question. Would you have done things differently? Yes, I would. Would you have done things differently? No, I wouldn't. I'm happy with my decision and I'm going to live with it. Okay? Very simple. Very simple. I'm not even there and I could just give two answers off the top, okay? But I'm not a rapper, okay? Off the dome with it. I'm not a rapper. Why is he? That's a good question. Sir, we know it's a good question. That's why you're here at the reunion, to answer the good question. And you're going to sit here and say, what? Like, this man is just... the whole season, he pissed me off, okay? And then he's like, am I a good person? Am I a bad person? Sir, I don't want to hear what you were asking yourself in the mirror this morning. I don't care. I do not care. You had the opportunity to do it again. Would you go back and say, I do at the altar? That is what he's asking you. And you're giving this long-winded answer. At this point, I'm the one that needs the EpiPen because I'm allergic to this man. Okay? Allergic. Allergic. And to me, he's really trying to get the sympathy of the people, especially of black women. Okay? We're not giving you our sympathy, Clay. We are not. We are tired. Okay?
Navigated me. She always made sure that she uplifted me and made me feel like the best person. But I couldn't get out my own way. I just kept looking myself in the mirror. I'm like, I'm not the guy that deserves like love and marriage. And
bye. Because I'm pretty sure when AD was sat there at that table that day and was saying, like, she told him that she's not deserving of love, didn't he tell her the opposite? Or am I making stuff up? Like, she said that about herself. So we have two people that don't believe that they're deserving of love, and then we get both of these people to the altar, and the woman who doesn't believe that she deserves love is sticking beside the man that knows he cannot even give love. And we have a catastrophe. Because again, Clay was the other person like Trevor that needed therapy, knows he needs therapy, and decided not to go to therapy. Decided to use Love is Blind as their therapist or their process to figure out things about their life. Sir, it's not Eon Love Fixed My Life. This is Love is Blind. This is why I have no sympathy for him, for Trevor, nobody. Nobody's getting sympathy for me this season, okay? Unless they deserve it. And these men do not deserve it. Then Clay gonna come up out his mouth and tell AD, I apologize. I love you. You are the love of my life. The love of my life? The love of my life? Do you know how upset I would be if I was AD? You at the altar told me you don't. You told me I don't love you at the altar, is what you said. And now you're going to sit up on this stage and tell me you are the love of my life? Love your mama. Because you don't love me. You don't need to love me. This is why I'm single. This is why I'm single. Anything I'm cussing niggas out this season, okay?
I've been doing therapy.
And then trying to convince us that he's doing therapy and all these things. I know niggas like you. You're not doing therapy to get better. You're doing therapy to get smarter. And won't like that. And using it as a weapon. Okay, I'm in therapy. I'm doing therapy. I'm in therapy to be a better person, so that I can be there for you, and yada 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 yada. No, because the truth of the matter is, if you do the therapy and you do the work, and that relationship is really supposed to be, it's gonna be. You don't have to force it. You don't have to go chasing after her. You don't have to keep telling her. You just work on yourself. And if she sees you in these streets and says, oh, you look like you actually been doing good for you, and y'all just end up organically coming back together, that's a different story. But this whole I'm doing it to get you back bull means that the minute you get me back, you're gonna stop the therapy. Am I tripping? Did I just make that up? Because that's all I feel in this whole situation. The minute she goes back, the therapy's going to stop. You cannot do therapy because of somebody else. You have to do therapy for yourself.
Apologize. I love you. You are the love of my life, and it was a mistake.
A mistake. So after he says this, they turn to AD and they're like, you know, how do you feel about hearing all these things? And she's like, it takes me back to when I fell in love with him and why I fell in love with him, you know? And she said, I was sure of myself that I could give Clay everything that he needed. but obviously that wasn't reciprocated. So then they asked what we really want to know, because we have seen footage of them online, like she at Thanksgiving dinner or something, girl, and I'm just like, oh hell no, I'm pissed. Okay, they asked her, do you think you would ever date him again? And her response had me side-eyeing. I said, oh no, ma'am, no.
Next question.
What? Girl, they is oohing and eyeing in the audience when Clay says he would 1000% date her again. Sir, ma'am, pack it up. AD talking about some damn next question, because you already know you is dating this man in secret and you're not going to reveal it on the reunion because it's embarrassing. And you don't want the girls and the guys in your comment section dragging you for filth, as they should, because why would you go back to him? If somebody shows you who they are, believe them the first time, okay? Believe them the first time.
I did. You had your chance. I was wide. Like, there's nothing that I wouldn't have given you, and there's nothing I wouldn't have done for you. And I feel like, low-key, respectfully, you played in my fucking face. You played in my face, Clay, because you knew you didn't want to get married.
That's not true.
Then why are we not married?
You know, when...
This man is full of... Just call Clay Mr. Intestines, because he's full of it, okay? Mr. Intestines is full of it. I am over the foolishness. What are you talking about? You are telling me, you're going to sit here and tell me that you saw this lady walk up and was ready to say yes and still said no? You're smoking or you're joking. You're smoking or you're joking. Either that or you're hearing voices in your head and you didn't know which voice to let out. Because what you're saying makes no sense. She fully just said to him, you knew you were going to say no. You played in my face, as he did. I was so happy when she laid into him. I really was. But then he turns around and still is trying to say he was like, that's my wife. If you were saying to yourself, that's my wife, as she was walking up, there's nothing in hell, no devil in hell, that could have made you say no out of your mouth. Not only that, you rehearsed the no when she was answering her question. Okay, so we're not gonna sit up here and lie. So Clay talks about how he feels like he was diagnosed on camera as this red flag. He's not saying the word narcissist, but that's what he's talking about, because people definitely have been calling this man Chris. I'm guilty. Okay, I was calling him Chris from Married at First Sight. If you know, you know. And so he's like, he feels like he's being diagnosed on camera, and I feel like that's why he's going so hard trying to prove he's not this red flag when he actually is the red flag. Right? And so he's getting emotional, talking about, it's really about the backlash that he's received. And he's saying, you know, he receives it because people are saying, you know, this is a guy that has daddy issues and yada, yada, yada. But he's really hurt. So he's trying to make it seem as he's giving this monologue about how he feels. Y'all tell me if you think these tears are real or not. It's giving the little tear that couldn't. Okay, he's really... if I forced it up, I could probably get some... crocodile tears out too. He is really like, I wasn't BSing. I really went to therapy. I even tried out multiple therapists, like all this stuff.
Went to therapy. I tried different therapists out even, you know, trying to see what worked for me. You know, I want to be a good guy. I want to be the best version I could be, and it sucks that I wasn't like that for you. I really,
watch it.
I swear, it wasn't intentional.
I'm gonna rewind that. Listen, okay, listen to this. I want to be a good guy. I want to be a good guy. I've done the work. Okay, this is 80's hand. 80's hand touches him, and all of a sudden, there's no more. He's just back to regular talking. Attention.
I'm a good guy. I want to be the best version I could be, and it sucks that I wasn't like that for you. I really, I swear, it wasn't intentional. Version I
Tears
could
be gone.
It sucks that I wasn't like that for you.
Let me find out. AD's the tear whisperer.
I swear, it wasn't intentional. Like, I'm watching it back, and it broke my heart to break your heart. Honestly, I swear, it wasn't intentional. Like, I'm watching it back, and it broke.
Where did the tears go? Where did the tears go? AD touched the man. She's a tear whisperer. She touched the man, and girl, she must be Jesus, because how is it that he stopped crying like that? The touch of a woman. Wow. AD, you got it going on, girl. You making men stop crying just by touching them, okay? Because the man sounded like he was about to be inconsolable. So they, of course, asked AD how she felt when she watched the conversation between Clay's mom and dad. So at that point, AD is like, that conversation made a lot of things make sense for me. And respectfully, I don't want to be Clay's mom in the end, okay? She was calling a spade, right? Because Clay, as we know, Clay's mom stayed for 2 decades when cheating was happening and all kinds of other BS, right? And so AD got to learn a lot by watching his parents' conversation. And that conversation also let me know that he obviously wasn't telling AD the things that he was saying in his confessional. He didn't tell AD about the infidelity trips because she probably would have understood at that point why he's so worried about cheating. Because every time he would bring up cheating, AD would be like, are you worried you're going to cheat on me? Like, is that your only concern? Is that your number one concern? And she couldn't really figure out the why. So then when she watches the show back, she sees, oh, so this is why. Because that's all he knows. If your model home is toxic, chances are you're going to follow the model home unless you actively take charge and try to change those things. It's never too late to start the therapy, but Clay has started therapy very late, and he started therapy for almost the wrong reasons. You got to start somewhere. So it's good that he is starting the therapy, but his face, baby, when AD says, I don't want your situation. When AD said she don't want to end up like Clay's mom, he was not happy, baby. In fact, look at where I paused it. He was so unimpressed. Girl, Clay starts talking about, how black men can relate to the situation of having that broken household. And he turns to Brett and commends Brett for the way he conducted himself on the show or whatever. But you cannot use your broken household, because most of us are coming from them. White, black, Chinese, girl, it don't matter. Okay, most people in this day and age have a broken damn household. Shout out to you if you don't. Shout out to you if your parents been together forever and ain't got no scandals under their belt, okay? That you know about. Okay, that's one thing. But most people today are coming from broken homes. If you have come from a broken home, it doesn't matter what broke up the home. You can actively choose to not have that for yourself by vetting people properly, okay? If you fail at the vetting process, baby, anything goes. Take it from me. Anything goes, okay? If you don't vet properly, your home's gonna be broken, period. It is what it is, But if you come from a broken home, the cycle does tend to continue. So you have to actively do everything with sense. You have to actively choose your partner properly, see where they are mentally, spiritually, just everything, right? And then you take the next step, you court. Okay, and once you do the courting thing, if you want to stay just y'all two, you do that. If you want to have kids, you do that. And then, reevaluate those things, your values once the kids are born, or how are things, all these things, right? That's just how it has to go for the marriage to be successful. I think that it's possible, but if you see what Clay saw growing up, and we're participating in it, by traveling with your daddy when he was cheating on your mom, and you didn't tell, you were taught to be a liar. Clay was literally taught to be a liar, so he has to undo those things before he enters into a relationship. And if he gets lazy and decides he don't want to do the work, he's not going to do the work, and people are just going to keep getting dogged by him. Clay does state that why he's in therapy is because he realized that he was taking on his parents' mess and he wanted to drop it off at the door. Okay, so that's why he's claiming that he's in therapy, and I'm gonna believe him. Okay, I'm going to believe him, but he knew that. And so I think one of the reasons that he's really actively going is because it's been on national TV now. And now you can't hide behind that, right? Once you get exposed, right? Once everything's been put into the light, there's no point to run from it anymore. So it's really good that he's in therapy, and hopefully it is for the right reasons. But he's still got a lot of work to do. And so I'm going to stick with my thought that Clay is indeed struggling for his dad's approval. And he says in this clip that his father was a good dad. And I have to argue that, because a good dad would not have taken Clay out cheating with him. okay, and encourage the lying. And yes, a lot of time has passed. Clay is grown now. He's not a kid anymore, but the damage is so severe. Clay is still not understanding that your dad was not a good father. He was a toxic one, and both of y'all need therapy, okay? And so he also is saying, you know, his dad hasn't apologized like, I'm sorry, but he apologized in his own way. Do you guys think that that's fair, or should his father actually say, you know, from the bottom of my heart, son, I am sorry. I realize I have issues too that I need to fix. Because if daddy ain't going to therapy, I have a problem. Both of them need therapy, clearly. You know, because the dad did the same thing with the crying and the BS. And that's why I'm not necessarily buying everything that Clay's saying, because his dad did the same thing. His dad started crying, boo-hoo, my struggles growing up, when the mom was talking to him, and the mom was like, cut it out. I don't care about none of that. Cut it out. It's not an excuse. And Clay's doing the same thing. So he literally has turned into his father, and he has to undo that. He has to be rewired, baby. But he says he's comfortable with who his father is as a man. We're on the outside looking in, and we only have a piece of the story. But at the same time, if Clay can watch the show back, or if Clay can have these experiences with his father and still not see anything wrong with his behavior, then there's still, like I said, a lot of work to be done. So in the show, when he was claiming that he was watching Love is Blind, and how, you know, some of the men on the show were just like doing everything right, and he just didn't see himself like that. Baby, you can't compare yourself to Brett, okay? Brett is in a league of his own, okay? The man is a little genius. You are not Brett, sir. You shouldn't be comparing yourself to anybody. Comparison is actually a demon, okay? The comparison demon. And you shouldn't do that. And so because he was watching the show and trying to like be that person, AD had told him, I don't want Brett. I want you. I love everything about you, and I'm sure about you. So be sure about yourself. AD said that to him. So, you know, him saying like, you know, Brett was like this great person that, you know, he was almost looking up to in a sense, like, or wanting to be like, because you say all the right things, you know, you're also a black man, you know, you didn't have the most normal upbringing either. And Brett talks about that a little bit, but I'm just gonna skip over that because this is not about them anymore, okay? And so Clay comparing himself to other people is really where he's going wrong, because you're doing so much comparing to other people. You're not focused on you. You're not focused on how to be a better person in your own skin, in your own body. And if you're trying to be somebody else, it's not going to work. If you're trying to be like somebody else, it's not going to work. You just got to be you. So then they did a little bit of a montage of Amy and Johnny together. Again, skipping over this, but it was really cute. We loved it. They have taken great pictures. They went to Paris, took pictures of the Eiffel Tower, like lots and lots of good content. They do like home videos. Very cute, okay? It looks like they're trying to start YouTube, girl. I'm not gonna hold you. Looks like they're trying to get a little bag, okay? They're trying to get the Cameron and Lauren bag. So then we headed into viewer questions, and you know, the first question went to Jessica, and the old cast members read it. And so Jessica was asked about Autumn, so her daughter, and like if she's watched the show and what did she think about it. And Jessica pretty much said like she hasn't seen the show in its entirety. And then Jessica does something that I thought was absolutely crazy. She referred to Chelsea as Aunt Chelsea. But what I gathered from watching this was that Chelsea don't really like Jessica, but Jessica genuinely likes Chelsea. So then of course they asked the question we all want to know: why were condoms not on the table, or were they on the table? You guys were just having weird conversations about babies and sex. And so Johnny and Amy are like, condoms were always there, but they wanted a little bit more than just condoms, which is understand. So by some damn spermicide, like, why, like, I could not believe how much time we actually spent on that topic during the season. So I'm just going to breeze on by because irrelevant. So the next viewer question was for Chelsea, and it was pretty much, how did you feel about the conversation that Laura and Jessica were having at the bar about Jimmy? Because Sarah Ann and Jessica were kind of teeter-tottering in the same waters on the same boat, you know? And so Chelsea says, you know, she did feel like it was a little bit disrespectful because she was in the trenches fighting for her relationship with Jimmy.
To my relationship, when I'm out here going through the trenches trying to figure out, like, is this my man? Like, how do we make it work? And I obviously, it's not a secret, had insecurities during the show. And, you know, it kind of just added to that feeling. So it hurt a little bit. Jess and I are on really good terms. I love you with my whole heart.
That's one of my best friends, and this is wildly disrespectful. And I don't expect any grace for that. That was not my best moment.
I don't believe that these are viewer questions. Because when it came time for Tiffany to ask a question, why was the question directed at Sarah Ann? And why was it, did Jimmy share his location with you? Like, nobody asked that. Nobody asked that. Who wrote this? The producers is who wrote this, okay? The viewers did not ask these questions. So then the question was asked to Jimmy. What did your friend think about Chelsea sharing your little secret with the world?
You know, I knew coming on a TV show, I'm putting myself out there. She didn't deserve that.
Just want to say, Jimmy, keep the beard, okay? The beard is helping you. You went from like this to this, okay? Okay, from thumb to index.
I'm not getting emotional with the fellas. Like, all the girls will let me lay into them about where I'm at with everything. I was trying so hard in my relationship, and they came on to support me. They came on to be a friend to her, but I told you out of confidence. One of them is really pissed off at me for mentioning it.
Jimmy says that one of his friends is really upset with him for mentioning that. But it's also revealed that Jimmy and Chelsea are now best friends. And so one of the girls in my Discord was like, they're seeing a habit here or a pattern here where Jimmy hunches the girls and then turns them into best friends. Weird behavior. Very much giving red flag, because how did him and Chelsea become best friends? And again, Jimmy accuses Chelsea of having this ex-friend that she hangs out with, and she's like, I don't hang out with him. Like, she's really like saying, I don't hang out with him. Okay? That's not what it is. Well, I don't know. I'm not there in Chelsea's house, girl, so I don't know. So then, of course, they asked everybody on stage, what do you guys think of the situation? Like, do you feel like Chelsea was wrong or right? Or are you indifferent? Like, what do you think about her spilling the beans? And so Clay lends his opinion and says, he's the only one that says something, first of all, at least at first. He's like, you know, I think that because she told him in confidence, it should have stayed that way off camera, you know. But he said at the same time, he gives Chelsea grace because it's such an emotional experience. To be honest, I don't know if during the show Chelsea thought that if she exposed the secret, she'll get rid of the friend. Not realizing it was going to backfire and he was going to get rid of her. I don't know if that was her plan or if she just didn't think it was going to be as bad as it was, her exposing that secret, that it was going to ruin everything. But it essentially did ruin everything, and she realizes that, of course. And Jimmy maintains that he told her because she needed to know every bit of him. But I'm thinking maybe that's something he should have waited to tell her till after they got married, and they could deal with it as a married couple, because then it wouldn't have been so easy to just walk away from the whole thing. But it played out how it was supposed to play out. Now, Chelsea says that it's something that was weighing on her so bad. So I guess she just had word vomit. She just had word vomit. She had to get it out. She had to tell somebody, child. Even if there was cameras there. She said she forgot about the cameras, which is a common thing I hear on reality TV. You start like blocking them out. You start ignoring them. For me, when I was on the show, not this show, child. When I was on the Much Music show, there was no time to ignore the cameras because they didn't film us 24 hours a day. They didn't film us even like 12 hours a day. It wasn't like that. Like, that reality show was very different than something like this, where you know the cameras are on them quite a bit. That show, we only filmed when necessary. So like all the times we would like go out, we weren't filmed. They would be filming in the morning if there was an activity. If we were traveling from city to city, there was not any real filming. They might film us on the bus for 2 seconds, but the cameras weren't always in our face when we were filming. If we were at an event, if we were at a challenge, they would be filming at that point and give us starting points for conversation, tell us, you know, this is what you're talking about. But that's about it. So we never had a chance or time to ignore the cameras or like forget that they're there, because they weren't there often enough. But I presume if you get comfortable enough, that's what's gonna happen. Because even on Bad Girls Club, they stop caring about the cameramen being there. They just start living their life. They're walking around naked. They don't care. Okay, like that's just what happens. Okay, it seems like Jimmy and Chelsea have a lot of remorse about how that situation played out, and I think rightfully so. I think that it was high emotions. I think that it was unnecessary. It definitely could have been handled better. And I think that they both want to just move past that. But, baby, that's what happens with reality TV. Things will get beaten to the ground, okay? People would never forget the Megan Fox thing. Look how far that got, girl. It reached Megan Fox, okay? So, like, anything goes when it's reality TV. Now, I think the thing that shocked me most about this was when Nick asked AD or the other cast members about how they perceived Jimmy and Chelsea on camera versus off camera. AD was like, listen, the Chelsea that we were seeing on TV is not the Chelsea that we were seeing in person. So it really kind of threw me off. And so I was like, okay, well, the energy in that house was all the way wrong then, because if Chelsea is naturally this, you know, strong woman, this bubbly girl, is it a facade that she puts on in front of her girlfriends and really behind closed doors she's somebody else? Or was Jimmy just so draining for her that she was struggling in the marriage, but, you know, put on a brave face when she left the house? Because that is often a lot of people's, you know, situation. And so AD pretty much just was like, who you guys knew is not who I got to know. So then the attention gets turned to Jessica. There was this time where the camera went over to Jimmy and Chelsea, and I saw Jimmy rubbing on Chelsea's leg. I said, hold on now. Hold on. Because I know I didn't just see what I thought I just saw. And I did indeed see what I thought I saw. He was most definitely rubbing on her leg, and I said, are y'all together? Is everybody secretly together and we're just boo-boo the fool over here?
Hey, girl. I want to take
What's
it
that?
back to the lake party.
What is that?
When
And Chelsea even, you know, mouths to Jimmy, are you okay? Because he knows he about to be in the hot seat. Well, he already been in the hot seat, child. But he about to be even further in the hot seat because now the lake party questioning is coming up about Jessica and Jimmy's conversation. Pretty much, Jessica says, they were like, you know, when we see you guys at the lake party, y'all have so much chemistry. Jessica says, I don't think that was chemistry. Well, what is chemistry then, girl? Okay, she said that wasn't chemistry, that was physics. She said that he pretty much has a part of her that she'll never get back, but she's so grateful to have had that experience and blah, blah, blah. He is essentially feeling the same way. He said, you know, I was really eager to meet her, but at that time, you know, he was engaged and he didn't want to overstep and all these things. Now, Jimmy says it was quite the experience having two women tell you that they love you, and he says he never wants to be put in that position ever again. I don't think I've ever been in that position where two men are vying for my love, girl, or telling me that they're in love with me and they have to fight for me, girl. It's never been a thing. I keep my men very separate, okay? My relationship's very separate. So I've not had that experience, but I don't think I would ever want to experience, because I can't even handle one, okay? One man is tiring enough for me. Two men would be crazy. Now, to have a roster so you can pick and choose who you want to do what with, when you want to do it, is a different story. But like, actually being in love is crazy with multiple people. So as I watch Jimmy talk about, you know, following Jessica on social media, he says that he followed everybody at the same time, right? But with her, he took his follow back, right? He decided that he didn't want to follow her, but obviously she saw that he followed her and unfollowed. As he talks about this situation, you could just see every emotion possible on Chelsea's face. She can't hide her emotions as she tries. For the next leg of the episode, the girl is holding back tears, honey. Okay, I just know when she got into her dressing room, she started crying, bawling them eyes out, because she had to literally hold back tears for such a long time as Jessica and Jimmy had their moment on the floor. So they ask if her and Jimmy are friends, and she's like, I thought we were. And then it looks like Jimmy and Jessica got a little bit of beef, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? I thought that they would be best of friends. After the lake party, I was shocked.
After the lake party, I mean, you guys saw we left on great terms. And then when the show came out, I knew it might be bad for him. I didn't think it was going to be to the extent that it was.
I don't get that. I don't understand. Okay, maybe I'm just not on the internet like I think I'm on the internet, because I didn't realize that Jimmy was getting a lot of hate. Probably because I didn't give him it. So I was like, I didn't know that Jimmy was getting a lot of hate. I know Chelsea was a girl, but I didn't know Jimmy was too. Hell, I thought we felt bad for Jimmy. I'm confused. And so Jessica, the reason that she is confused by Jimmy's behavior is because Jimmy did an interview and he was pretty much saying like she got a good girl edit and he's really proud of the edit that she got. And I saw this interview, it was on TikTok that I saw it. She got a good edit and, you know, she really like was rude to him when the day that they're breaking up and all these things. And like he was really, I think he was trying to paint her a certain way, but like it wasn't giving. And I think Jessica had a right to be upset about that, because, you know, he didn't have to answer the question the way that he did in that interview. And I don't know what he was trying to do, but baby, he needed to quit while he was ahead, okay? Because that was a mess. And so she pretty much is like, why did you do all those things? Because I've been like making sure to like defend you, or like, you know, let people be gentle with you online. Hell, I even comment on your stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I've been real cool. I don't understand why you went on that interview and did that. Like, obviously he was motivated by the fact that he's been getting a lot of hate online and he wanted Jessica to feel some of that. But I think that Jimmy went about that interview completely wrong.
What part?
First of all, I've had plenty of interviews and I've taken every opportunity I've had to speak highly of you, our experience, how grateful I am to have had it with you and everything. And it seemed like you took the first opportunity you had to just, I guess, make an attempt at throwing me under the bus, but also just flat out bold-faced lie.
And then there was a timeline issue because he was saying like he had 3.5-hour dates planned with both of them and that she stormed out after 10 minutes, but the date was apparently an hour and 45 minutes. Like it was or they were there for like an hour and change or whatever. Pretty much he BS'd in the interview and tries to make her look bad. But it's like, why do you do stuff like that when it's going to get exposed at the damn reunion? Like, you look dumb. And I said, let me find out Jimmy was the problem this whole time, okay? Had us swindled and fooled over Chelsea. No, I think Jimmy and Chelsea both are very problematic people. I almost feel like when he did that interview, it was because he was a little salty that since things didn't work out with Chelsea and himself, he probably anticipated that things would work out with Jessica after the fact, or that they would at least give it a try, even though he's like scared of the daughter thing. Maybe he feels like he missed out on a good woman and now he's just taking revenge, girl, because people do that. And she pretty much calls Jimmy out for lying because she says that, you know, they said, let's take a breather and talk about it later. She never stormed out. And they came with the receipts, okay? They played the clip for us.
My past.
Look at her. Chelsea looks like she's gonna be physically ill, okay? She is going to be sick. She doesn't want to hear nothing about the stuff that they're talking about right now. All in all, Jimmy lied because not only did they take an intermission an hour and 23 minutes into the break, they came back 8 minutes later and then 50 minutes later. So they're almost at the 3-hour mark here. They're 2.5 hours into their date. This man said she stormed out in 10 minutes during his interview and then had the audacity to say she got the good edit as though she's fake. I would be pissed off too if I was Jessica, and she's still being nice to this man, okay? Because I would have cussed him clean out. So their total date time was 2 hours and 13 minutes. I don't know how Jimmy could have ever felt that it was a 10 minutes and she was storming out. That was a bull, okay? And for me, I'm surprised if I catch you in one damn lie, I'm going to have to reevaluate everything else after that. So then, of course, once those receipts were laid, that laid the problem to rest because we were brought to the reality that Jessica was not lying and Jimmy was. So we moved right along, child, and got into Miss Chelsea. And Chelsea was asked about the Megan Fox situation. So Chelsea says she's really proud of herself for the way that she's been handling it because, as you know, the internet is not a fun place, okay? Not for the weak. So she's really proud of herself. And, you know, she then says, you know, the world is cruel. You could say, I like the color pink and people will demolish you. I beg to differ. Maybe if you say you like the color maroon, people will be like, what the hell are you talking about? But if you say, I like the color pink, ain't nobody coming for you, baby, because everybody know Pink is that girl, okay? If you have a problem with Pink, I have a problem with you. And me and Jesus are gonna come see you, okay? I love Pink. Now, I have seen Chelsea online react to it a little bit, and I think she has been taking it on the chin, no pun intended. Okay, she's been taking it on the chin, okay? So I'm proud of Chelsea too for handling the way she did. It's just like when Hottie said that she looked like Beyonce. Beyonce? You don't look like no damn Beyonce, and she'll look like no damn Megan Fox. But I like the way she's handling it. I think Chelsea has likable qualities, but the show did not highlight those things for us, okay? She looks cute in this little still. She looks cute here. Come on, Chelsea. You gotta fix the bump in the hair, though. Okay, so they show this video clip of the baby shower for Bliss and Zach's baby, and then we go back to the old cast members and they're asking questions again. The question is asked to Kenneth and Brittany if either one of them ever just wanted to do it to see if the crave came back from the pods. And I said, that man is gay, baby. He don't want to do nothing with nobody. Okay, that was not going to help. He was not going to be able to get hard for Miss Brittany. Okay, because Brittany's very cute. Okay, this is a very cute Southern woman. So, I don't know why they asked that. Now, this is what pissed me off. They did not address this scandal with Kenneth and his cousin coming online and saying that Kenneth is really gay and he signed up for the show to quiet the family, which is what I said for my very first video. I said, child, he's sweet. Okay, sweet as pie. Okay, there was no denying it. Then he wasn't touching her. His body language was off. I said, this man likes men's, allegedly.
Do you believe that the Lord tonight has set you free?
Yes, sir.
Turn around and tell those people.
Tell them. I'm not gay no more. I am delivered.
I don't like men no more. I said I like women. Women.
Okay, that's how I was feeling watching the show. And then when his cousin said that, I said confirmation. And matter of fact, when he said that he is like the choir person, the praise and worship leader at the church, and then he had a mentor, girl, all roads led to gay. All roads led to gay, baby. Okay? And ain't nothing wrong with that. The problem is that Love is Blind is not for those kinds of relationships. They have Love is Blind queer, right? So this Love is Blind is not for that. And if you are using this show to get a beard for yourself, it's a problem. And so that's what was alleged, that Kenneth is gay, but they never addressed it. And I believe that they didn't address it because they addressed Trevor, they addressed the fiance. These were the three biggest scandals, and they really pissed me off by not addressing it, okay? And they also didn't address him telling Brittany that he was too much a caliber. Like, they barely even talked about that. And I thought that was a big fight on the show. Like, that should have definitely been addressed. But they didn't do a good job with handling Brittany and Kenneth situation. They did a good job with everything else. I could tell they're listening to the viewers, you know, because the viewers are what matter. You don't want to see a drop in viewership, so you need to listen to the consumer.
I am the customer, and the customer is always right.
She's right. And they did a good job with that, but they really, really, really dropped the ball by not addressing this allegation, because this was the biggest one of the season. Because what are you doing on the show if you don't even like women? Like, that's crazy. And so I believe that they didn't address it because they didn't want to be accused of outing him. But the truth of the matter is he outed himself, if you ask me, okay? And then his cousin outed him already, so they might as well just say, is this true? He's either going to say yes or no. And then we leave it alone, right? But they didn't address it. Brittany's idea of what sex is or lovemaking is in a marriage, to me, is crazy. You know, she referred to it as a supplement and that it wasn't necessary. I said, this is why you ended up with gay niggas. Because what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about, ma'am? Listen, no, I disagree with this completely. She will be used.
And we were even asked that
in the DR, like, why don't you just do it and see? My thing is that is a supplement, and it's an addition to, and I should not have to first test that out to then make my decision.
The thing about it is you didn't need to test it out to make your decision. That's not what that was about. Now, this is not Married at First Sight, so if they want to wait till marriage, then, they should. But I thought that they were referring to the fact that the chemistry or the bonding wasn't there, or maybe they had sexual tension and, there was a stopper in the relationship because they weren't getting past that point. But to me, ain't enough sexual tension in the world gonna stop me from being with the person I want to be with because we decided to wait for the wedding. Like, to me, wouldn't the sex be all the more better on the wedding night because we waited? Like, ain't that how it goes? They didn't need to test out the waters. That wasn't the issue. The issue is that we have somebody cosplaying as straight, allegedly. Okay, so that's the real issue. That's why things were going awry in this relationship. And the fact that they didn't address the rumors online is crazy. They gonna act like they didn't see it? Oh, okay, Love is Blind. And then Kenneth was going to add to it, but he never got to because he's like, can I add something to that? Sir is whispering. Okay, sir, this is not the Whisper Olympics. You need to speak up. Say it with your chest, okay? Because you were saying it with your chest when you were talking about you was too high of a caliber. Man, you're watching too much damn Kevin Samuels is what the problem is. But that's neither here nor there. Nick asked Kenneth if when they got back from the DR about him constantly being on his phone and how he was ignoring her and not paying attention to her and all these things. And this man sat up there and tried to lie to all of us and tell us about, he's a principal at the school and like he's really a hands-on principal. He's always there in the hall. He talks to everybody, the staff, the kids, so it's a really crazy experience for him to be away from them for any extended period of time. You did not and were not contacting your school and the students on that phone when you got back. You weren't doing that. You were scrolling. Probably on Grindr. You were doing a lot of things that had nothing to do with the school. So don't bring that BS excuse as to why you needed to be on your phone to the point where you are ignoring this woman when she's talking to you. It was so disrespectful, and it really upset me when I watched him on his phone.
Right. I love my kids. I love my families and my parents, my teachers. I spent about 3 weeks away from them. I'm a very on-the-grounds principal, so what that means is I'm like in classroom, in the hallways, all of those things. I make commitments to my families and parents and kids every day. And so having the opportunity to reconnect with them was not just me, but also for them. They're not used to having that big level of absenteeism with me and their communication. I love my job. It's the most precious thing to me, but so is my love, right? So I'm trying to find the middle ground of how do you still keep your commitment?
No. I'm not accepting this answer, and I'll tell you why. I am part of a group chat for my kids' school, and we ain't on there talking all the damn time. It's not that. It's not a gossip forum. It's not the Discord. Okay, it's for communication with the students, parents, and the staff at the school if there needs to be communication. It is not used like that, okay? That's not what it's for. That would be too busy all the time for it to be constantly going off. No. Okay, it's not doing that. So I don't believe a word that he said. You were not communicating with the school and the parents and the staff for that amount of time. And I'm sure at some point he was, but the whole time, no. Because that was painful to watch him on that damn phone. It was painful. And look at them. Just like me, baby. We don't believe you. You need more people. You need more people because we are looking at you like, sir, what are you talking about? Look at their faces. Look at their faces. Like, really? The school? That's what they look. The school? They need to fire him. This is crazy. Maybe I spoke too soon. Because Nick was like to him, us and the viewers at home were like, you didn't seem really fazed about the breakup. What's going on with that? Nick went a little further, a little deeper with the question and used our favorite word, which was, some people even said you were gaslighting. I said, ooh.
And I think some viewers, even calling it gaslighting. How do you respond to that and to your reaction in that moment?
Yeah, one, I can totally understand how that looks, right? I can own, right, how the perception is.
We didn't perceive it.
One thing I think is important to bring to the space is everyone processes differently. I know.
we didn't perceive anything. We watched in 4 freaking K on Netflix. Okay? It's not 280p. We watched in 4K on Netflix. They didn't put words in your mouth. You were disrespectful. You were rude. You were dismissive. Mean and nasty even. Okay? And told the lady something that she never said. To the point where she thought she said it. Told her that what you're hearing her say is that you're too high a caliber of a man for she. And it's not gonna work. She was discussing regular relationship things with you, and out of nowhere, you break up with her. Makes no sense. So we're not gonna accept this BS answer. And again, they're looking at him like, what the hell is this man talking about? They can't say Negro, so I'm not gonna put that in their mouth. Look at their faces. They're like, huh? They are so confused. I have confusion, okay? Because what is he talking about? Everything I need to know is in that bow tie, okay? The bow tie is telling me everything I need to know. What is this bow tie? Look at it. Look at it. And then he gonna say he called Clay in shambles, talking about, bro, this is what happened to me. Nothing happened to you. You broke up with the lady out of nowhere because she tried to talk to you about some things that she was feeling, and you were supposed to validate her feelings in that moment and tell her how you can fix it, work on it with her, and you chose to leave her disrespectfully, confusing everybody. Really? So why are you calling Clay, out of all people, by the way, to say, bro, this is what happened to me? You did it to yourself. She didn't break up with you. What do you mean, what happened to me? Child, I can't take these people on the show. I can't take them. I cannot take them. All that came from this was that Brittany got her a little GBF, okay? A nice bestie, all right? She said that they talk every day. I wouldn't be talking to Kenneth ever again. Not with the way that he spoke to her on that camera. And of course, forgiveness is key, but I'm gonna forgive you and I'm gonna forget about you, because I'm not gonna allow you to come in and disrespect me again like that. Ever again. Whether we're friends or not, lovers or not, no. And so pretty much because they've entered into this best friend zone, we obviously know they were never intimate, so it's not gonna give like a Jimmy and his friend situation that he slept with, right? Oh, actually, and now Chelsea, because him and Chelsea are best friends. It's not going to give that because they never slept together, but they have talked with each other about their boundaries that will come once they enter into new relationships with new people. So I thought that was interesting, but those are good conversations to have. And so pretty much saying like there probably will become distance there once that happens. We can't be so close. We can't be texting all the time and doing whatever, okay? I'm sorry, every time I pause it on Nick and freaking Vanessa, their faces are like, you guys really just, I can't. Maybe that's just how they look. Maybe their faces are stuck like that, child, because why do they look like that? I can't. So one of the last things they addressed was how Matt was saying the same things to Amber as he was saying to the other Amber, okay? So to AD and to Amber. And so they played the clip of that, and AD was pretty much reacting to it because the things that he was saying were pretty much like identical. AD was obviously shocked, as she should be, because what we found out next was crazy, okay? The thing about AD's father passing was super sensitive and crazy for Matt to have used those same bars on another woman. Like, that was crazy of Matt, and so AD acknowledges that. And then they asked if, she's seen him, if she's dated him or anything like that, and she's like, I did. Ma'am, what? You went out with that man? Crazy. But that's not the crazy part either, okay? So she says, they asked, like, how many dates you been on, okay? And Clay sat there sick, okay? They asked her how many dates she been on. She's like, 2.5. At that point, I knew they hunched, okay? I said, hunchin' bunchin', okay? They was, oh my God. They were definitely hunching because 2.5 dates, that makes no sense. What was the half date? Y'all went to Starbucks for coffee? Like, what was the half date? So she says, so the first date that they had, they went out to eat or whatever, and he was really apologetic. He apologized to her for the whole thing, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so then they asked her about the second date. The second date, she said he cooked me dinner. Girl, you were at this man's house? Baby. Why are you at the man's house on second date? You wanted to smash. Okay, so obviously that's what the hell went down. I was reading between the lines. I could be lying on AD's coochie right now. I don't freaking know. But what I have gathered from this is that her and Matt smashed. She wanted to test that thing out, and she did. Keep in mind, she's a Scorpio, okay? And the Scorpio gals that I know are wild. Okay, they are wild. Listen, Clay is upset. Look at him. He's not impressed. He's not impressed in the least.
He's like drilling a hole in the side of my head.
Does Clay not know about
Yeah,
this?
is this news to you, Clay?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not. She told me that she met with Matt.
Okay.
Matthew and I, we went on a few dates.
How many?
Like two-ish. The first one, he wanted to apologize to me. He was heartbroken. He was very, very upset about the way everything played out and the way he felt like he kind of played in both of our faces. So the first one, he really wanted to take the time and apologize. And I was like, you know, Matthew kind of cute. Like, low-key, he's cute, y'all. Like, respectfully. Anyway, so then we did go on a second date. And he ended up cooking me dinner.
I'm not eating no rice and chicken from nobody that looks like Matthew, first of all, okay? And nobody that acts like Matthew. The man was pacing in the damn rooms and giving me anxiety. I'm like, why is he doing that? He's scaring me. I'm not eating no food from him. I'm not going to his house for nothing. I'm not trying to end up on Dexter, okay? That's just what I feel. Okay, I'm not trying to end up on Dexter, on Law & Order SVU, nothing. That's not my ministry. I'm not going to Matthew's house for nothing, okay? If I was invited. And I don't know if the chicken is chicken. I'm not going there because he was giving me Dahmer all day and I'm not interested. I'm so sorry about it. Like, no. So when AD says that he cooked me dinner, you guys have to pay attention to people's tongues and their body language. So when she says he cooked me dinner, the way she's saying it is there more happened after, but she doesn't tell us what happened after because they were obviously eating desserts. And I ain't talking about no cheesecake, okay? Cake, but not cheesecake. Clay is not happy about this. I don't know if she told Clay the full extent of what happened on that date, but girls know, okay? As a woman, as a girl, I'm not going to no man's house unless I have the intention to do something with him or to him. Clock it. That's why I don't be going to no man's house. But if I get to your house, that means I have my intentions. Don't be fooled. Don't think you got me out my knickerbockers, okay? I got you out of yours. All right. And then AD lets us know even more how crazy this man is. She says we live two completely different lifestyles because she's very much, you know, do what it do, fly by the wind, okay? And he is very drill sergeant, to the point. He schedules everything. Like, he's crazy. Maybe he has OCD, child. I don't know. As mad as we can see Clay is, he gives us very much a politically correct answer when they ask him how he feels about it. And he's like, I don't have no problem with Matt. Okay, and so the last part of the show, they just pretty much start talking about random stuff, okay? And Micah and Jessica seem to have the cutest little friendship. They have adorable photos together.
Who's so kind. Such
So
an amazing mother.
And so I love when people come off of these shows and make friends with each other. Now, my mama gonna cuss me out, so I better be on my best behavior when I leave this room, because when I tell you it is way past work time to be over, okay, but we had a few technical difficulties today. The power went out multiple times for the day, which is not a normal thing, but obviously living on an island, you do experience power outages. But like today was just random, like burst of like 5 minutes out, and then the last one that went off was like a good maybe 15-20 minutes out, but she stayed on. Praise the Lord Jesus. Okay, I absolutely adored spending Love is Blind with you guys. Thank you so much for supporting and watching. All the newbies, come on in, girl. We love the new subscribers, the new members, and that is pretty much it for this video. So I love you all, and I will see you guys hopefully for couple to throuple.